Now to the $400 million cash payment to Iran, which the administration maintains was not ransom, even though the exchange coincided with Tehran's release of those 4 American hostages. Let's bring in Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, a member of the Armed Services Committee and a fierce critic of President Obama's nuclear deal. Senator, we've known since the formal announcement of the Iran deal last January and the release of the 4 American hostages that the U.S. would pay Iran $1.7 million as part of settlement of an old arms deal. So why are you so upset by the revelation this week about this $400 million cash payment to Iran?
Chris, it's good to be on with you this morning. At the time, I said that $1.7 billion payment was a ransom itself, but the administration has consistently stonewalled Congress and the American people. We didn't know the cash payment, for instance. We didn't know that it was paid for with bills that can be easily laundered and used for terrorism or support for Iran's allies throughout the region. And we didn't know that the Department of Justice opposed it. I think it's really shocking to most Americans that the United States government was acting like a drug cartel or a third world gun runner might, stacking cash on a pallet and wrapping it in cellophane and flying it in an unmarked aircraft to give to the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism. There's still a lot of questions left to be answered, and the Obama administration continues to stonewall on those.
Let me quickly point out, if people are wondering, that you're on the Cotton family farm in Arkansas, and I must say it looks like a very nice place to be on this Sunday. President Obama didn't keep it a secret. I mean, he announced last January that we were giving this money to Iran. Let's look back at what he said.
The United States and Iran are now settling a long-standing Iranian government claim against the United States government. Iran will be returned its own funds, including appropriate interest, but much less than the amount Iran sought.
Now, I understand the point you made in your first answer. We're talking about $400 million in cash. We're talking about an unmarked plane. We're talking about the hostages waiting on the tarmac till the plane landed. But you certainly would agree that the administration did not keep this payment, maybe the nature of it, but they didn't keep the payment secret.
Well, they did keep the nature of it, and when you give $400 million in straight cash in 500 euro notes, a note that is notoriously used for terrorism and drug running around the world, so much so that the European Union is taking it out of circulation, I think that's an important fact for the American people to know. Again, though, I said at the time in January that paying them $1.7 billion, not money that they deserve, not money that they had a right to, on the very weekend that 4 Americans were released from captivity and the nuclear deal was implemented, was a ransom payment. And that would lead to the detention of more hostages in Iran, which is exactly what has happened in the meantime.
Now,